All right. Exactly. So let's move on to question 2. This, I feel like
this won't be good.
This is gonna be good.
This question actually, I have notes here. And this question actually is scary.
Yeah. So question number 2: where does Phil Jackson rank on the all-time list of your NBA coaches?
Ooh, that one's tough. Considering I was born in 98, so basically my entire lifespan I saw the Bulls run. Well, technically I saw the end of the Bulls run, and then as a Lakers fan, from as a child, I saw the entire Phil Jackson situation in LA. Yep. And sadly, of the front office things they did in New York. But anyways, moving aside, he's on my Mount Rushmore. Not in a particular order because I don't want to offend people, but my Mount Rushmore is Red Auerbach, the Celtics, Celtics patriarch. He set the reason he's there is he set the tone on how coaching can get a team so far. Like, yes, you could say he had so much talent in the league with no salary cap, but as we've seen in recent times, more recent examples, now just because you have the best team means you're going to win. So you have to have that coach to balance out the egos, get everyone to buy in. Another guy on my Mount Rushmore is Pat Riley. Revolutionized and made the fast break game a facet of the game. Well, it was a facet, but it wasn't that big of a factor up until he used it, especially when you have such a once in a generational talent in Magic. Then you have Kareem, so that to save Kareem's legs, you would have Magic, James Worthy, Byron Scott just running all the way to create mismatches and then preserve Kareem for those crucial baskets. Kareem with
5 seconds left. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Let's go, Cap.
Then, of course, Phil Jackson is going to be on that Mount Rushmore. Yes, people say he's lucky. He got MJ, he got Kobe, he got Pippen, he got Shaq. And then
he got Pau. And good Andrew Bynum.
And
good Andrew Bynum.
Yeah, good Andrew Bynum. But as a Laker fan growing up, you saw how much he got the players to buy in, because the best example was during the 2004 finals, Kobe was forcing shots if called upon on. Then you saw him in the 2008, 2009, and 2010 finals that if he's needed to give the ball up, he will. 2009, Game 4, Derek Fisher hit the game.
And Kobe passed Ron Artest the ball.
Yep. That press con in Game 7. That one I won't forget. It was similar to how MJ grew and developed. Found his niche. Both of them knew they were the best players at the league at the time. No offense to LeBron or to anyone else during the mid to early 2010s, but up until probably 2010, 2011, you could make the case that Kobe was at the top of the apex at the time. And we saw that since they had 2 championships and a runner-up finish in 2008. So that was my point, was he found a way to get those guys become better overall players. Because we've seen what Michael could do without Phil. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Slam Dunk Champion, All-Star Game MVP. Just about every particular accolade you could stick to MJ. He got it. And then with Kobe was the first player to average 35 points or more since MJ, the 37-point game average. So Kobe and again MJ, this was Kobe, 05-06 Kobe had the 35-point average because at the time he had to do so much. It's clearly there that he has to do so much for the team, that hence he had to put up 35. Then when Bynum, Odom, then when Fisher came in, then Pau came in, he was willing. Vujicic became a nice role player. Shannon Brown became
Luke Walton,
Trevor Ariza for 2 years, Ron Artest, Radmanovic during that 2008 playoff run. So he was willing to trust his teammates once he realized that one-man shows don't get far. You have Michael as proof. You had him falling up short against Phoenix twice, so he had enough proof. And then plus you add to that Phil's coaching. It definitely.
I guess. No?
And the last coach on my Mount Rushmore is definitely Greg Popovich. First off, honorable mention to a lot of guys. I think Brad Stevens and Nick Nurse in the next few years could make a way up on the Discord. They could make a way in the Discord because Nick Nurse is just the has that old school tactics mixed with new school players. Because in the 70s, 80s, 90s, you don't see 6'9" power forwards bringing the ball down, getting screens, and then creating for themselves. Then you have his tactics of the triangle 2, box and 1. So you have to give him credit. And then as well, Brad Stevens. We both know how brilliant of a tactician. The boy genius, the after timeout genius. We all know how he works. It's just unlucky that he hasn't had a deep playoff run. Hopefully soon enough.
Yeah.
Hopefully soon enough.
If hopefully we get the NBA back soon and we have playoffs, because I think they are positioned to do so.
Yeah, but they have to face one of Toronto, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. So
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, but those are my top 4 guys.
Right.
Those 4 guys brought out the best out of players, and they got people to buy in and to sacrifice. An example is Manu Ginobili being the 6th man.
Yeah.
Put Manu on just about any other team at the time, you would not have him as the 6th man.
Yeah.
But Greg Popovich got him to buy in and say, you coming off the bench would help us wonders since the starters are now fatigued. The starters of the other teams are fatigued. When you come in and go attack everyone. So
and he had a lot of energy to begin with.
Definitely. Those are my 4 guys to those are my 4 guys on the Mount Rushmore. But in no particular order. You can just put about anyone above each other with the right argument, and that's my 4 guys. How about you, Migs?
Well, I agree with I 100% agree with 2 of your choices. So I agree with Pat Riley and Greg Popovich, because when I'm looking at coaching, I put in such high regard the ability to be flexible.
That one too.
With Greg Popovich, I always look to how they won in 03 and 05. They won in 03 and 05, scoring 80 points. Those times,
the other team had scored 70.
Yeah, and then transitioning over to when they beat Miami in 2014, just raining threes all over the court, And then it's just like it takes some. The knock I have on Phil Jackson is he kind of got stuck in what he was comfortable doing, but it did get him 9 championships. So it's like, is it really that bad?
11. You got him 11.
Yeah, it didn't give him. How do I say it? It didn't give him the lasting
image, the lasting legacy, the lasting.
And
but definitely give him the hardware.
Yeah,
11 of them.
You can argue with the rings, you just like, But the other thing about Red Auerbach is, I probably won't. He's just outside my Mount Rushmore because I always kind of, you have to build a culture, and he did build that culture. But there was one championship where Bill Russell was the playing coach, so I'm not really sure. But
there was one, the last one, that 11th championship Bill had, that is him as playing coach. But I do get your point.
And with Pat Riley, it's just, I was just really amazed because he went from the Showtime Lakers to the New York Knicks.
Volleyball Knicks.
With Charles Oakley, Patrick Ewing. You know, and
you go to my...
Yeah, and you go with Zoe.
Zoe and Tim Hardaway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like Pat Riley just really knows how to cater to his players' strengths. And
you go to that season they won the championship in 06. He traded he traded half the team to get Jason Williams, Gary Payton, Antoine Walker, James Posey, and then add to that D Wade's prestigious, magnificent talent, and then say what you want to say, Shaq still gained a lot of attention inside. That's why I'm not downplaying Dwayne Wade's finals, but the reason he had room to work with is because still, even at that age of his career, Shaq was still going to get double teamed whenever when you give him the ball. Still,
people forget that Shaq in Phoenix could have still. He did have some like 30 and 40-point games, so it wasn't like he fell off a cliff yet. He was declining, but it wasn't off a cliff.
That speaks to the training staff in Phoenix as well. Yeah. Because
they got some years off Grant. They got some years on Grant Hill.
No, the best example is that half season Amari Stoudemire had with the Knicks.
Yeah.
That half season before Melo, Amari was a top 5 MVP candidate. When Melo came in, then the succeeding years afterwards, Amari's body just... That speaks to the levels of their training staff, because Steve Nash as well.
Yeah.
When Steve Nash got traded to the Lakers, that hit
started falling apart. Yeah. Yeah. So, going back to the question, I probably have Greg Popovich and Pat Riley. Then, even though I'm not particularly fond of Phil Jackson, can't argue with the hardware, so I'm putting him on the Mount Rushmore. Then the last one is probably a bias pick for me, but you can call me out on it if you want.
Let's see. But if you have the argument,
got Larry Brown.
Ooh.
Because I just feel like Larry Brown was one of the best defensive coaches I've seen. Because
I could speak it into existence as a Laker fan in that 04 finals.
And even in the 01 finals, I'm just saying for that team to make the finals was amazing in itself. It's just like, okay, AI offense, Larry Brown do the defense.
Everyone else spend in rebound.
Yeah. But one of my favorite teams of all time would have to be the 04 Pistons, which Larry Brown coached, and they held, I forgot how many times exactly, but they had a streak of holding opponents to less than 70 points, which is, I don't care if you play on rookie or on 2K, you're not making someone score under 70 points.
In this game, that's unheard of.
Yeah. Because even the best defensive teams, I don't think they can sniff that, you know?
Yeah, well, considering that the best defensive teams in the NBA right now still allow something points, I have no arguments to that.
So we only slightly differ on our Mount Rushmores. 3 out of 4, not bad.
But number 4, it's more that one hurt. Considering I remember the 04 finals.
I'm sorry to do it to you, but
it's all good. But
I have somewhere here. I have a DVD of it. I'm sorry.
As a 6-year-old watching, team get, it's not beat. It was a difference when you get beat and then you get outplayed. They were beaten up.
Yeah.